Shadows of Brilliance: The Early Years of a Recluse. August 27, 1978, Northwestern University, Evanston, Illinois. A package wrapped in brown paper sits innocuously under a car. It explodes, injuring a security guard. This is just the beginning, the first whisper of a nightmare that will haunt America for nearly 2 decades. But before the bombs, before the terror, there was a boy, Theodore John Kaczynski. Born in 1942, Ted, as he was known, was a child prodigy. Brilliant, introverted, socially awkward. A mind that excelled in academics but struggled to connect with the world outside. His parents, worried but hopeful, nurtured his intellect. He skipped grades, soaring through school. A scholarship to Harvard at the age of 16 seemed to confirm his genius. But beneath the surface, something was shifting. A darkness was growing. Seeds of Discontent. The Genesis of a Manifesto. Harvard University, Cambridge, Massachusetts. The pressure cooker of academia. Here, amidst the hallowed halls and intellectual giants, Ted Kaczynski felt increasingly alienated. His sense of superiority clashed with his inability to form meaningful connections. The seeds of his resentment towards technology and modern society began to take root. He immersed himself in mathematics, his genius undeniable. But his doctoral dissertation, deemed too complex for even his professors to fully grasp, further fueled his isolation. He saw himself as misunderstood, his intellect wasted on a world too blind to see its own destruction. His disillusionment with academia grew. He abandoned his promising career, retreating further into himself. The whispers of discontent grew louder, morphing into a roar of anger and hatred. The world, he believed, was on a path to self-destruction, fueled by the very technology it worshipped. A Trail of Terror. The Unabomber's reign begins. May 25, 1978. A package addressed to a professor at Northwestern University sits in a parking lot. Inside, a pipe bomb. The fuse, connected to a barometer, is designed to detonate when the package is opened. The bomb explodes prematurely, injuring a security guard. The Unabomber's reign of terror has begun. Over the next 17 years, 16 bombs will be sent. Universities, airlines, computer stores. His targets, carefully chosen, represent everything Kaczynski despises: technology, progress, the advancement of modern society. 3 people will die. Many more will bear the scars, both physical and emotional, of his attacks. The nation is gripped by fear. Who is this shadowy figure, this ghost in the machine, waging war on society from the shadows? The FBI, baffled, launches one of the largest and most expensive manhunts in its history. They call him Unabomber, University and Airline Bomber. Codes and ciphers. Deciphering the Enigma. Each bomb is a meticulously crafted puzzle. Crafted from scrap materials, they are designed to be as deadly and untraceable as possible. No fingerprints, no DNA. Just terror and a chilling message. With each bomb comes a letter, taunting, rambling, filled with misspellings and grammatical errors, yet clearly the work of an intelligent mind. In these letters, Kaczynski rails against the evils of technology, the destruction of the natural world, the enslavement of humanity. He signs them FC, Freedom Club, a chilling moniker that sends shivers down the spines of investigators. The letters are filled with codes and ciphers, taunts and riddles. Kaczynski, it seems, is playing a deadly game with the entire nation held hostage. Section 5, Ticking Time Bomb. The FBI's desperate pursuit. The investigation drags on. Years turn into decades. The FBI chases dead end after dead end. The pressure mounts. The public demands answers. The media, hungry for any scrap of information, descends on every lead, every rumor. Profiles are built and discarded. Theories are debated and dismissed. Is the Unabomber a disgruntled student? A lone wolf with a grudge? A terrorist organization? Each attack brings more questions than answers. The case becomes an obsession for some agents, a source of frustration and despair for others. The investigation takes its toll. Marriages crumble under the strain. Careers are made and broken. The Unabomber, a phantom, a whisper in the dark, has become a very real monster, casting a long shadow over the lives of those who hunt him. Section 6. The wilderness holds its secrets. Life in the Montana cabin. Deep in the Montana wilderness, far from the prying eyes of the world, Ted Kaczynski lives a solitary life. His cabin, small and crude, is his sanctuary. Here, surrounded by nature, he feels most at peace. Here he hones his philosophy, his hatred for the modern world growing stronger with each passing season. He lives off the land, hunting, fishing, foraging. He reads by candlelight, writes in his journals, and meticulously crafts his bombs. His only contact with the outside world is through the library, where he borrows books and occasionally sneaks access to computers. He sees himself as a warrior, a lone soldier fighting against the encroaching tyranny of technology. He justifies his actions as necessary, a desperate attempt to wake up a world sleepwalking towards its own destruction. Section 7. Betrayal from Within, A Brother's Dilemma. David Kaczynski, Ted's younger brother, is haunted by a terrible suspicion. He recognizes the writing style, the ideology expressed in the Unabomber's Manifesto. It is eerily similar to letters he has received from his brother over the years. Torn between family loyalty and civic duty, David faces an impossible choice: turn in his brother and risk being responsible for his imprisonment, or stay silent and risk the lives of more innocent people. After months of agonizing deliberation, David makes a decision. He contacts the FBI, providing them with letters written by his brother. It is a decision that will change his life and his brother's forever. Section 8. Capture in the Wilderness, The Walls Close In, April 3, 1996. The FBI descends upon the remote cabin in Lincoln, Montana. Inside, they find Ted Kaczynski, disheveled and unkempt, surrounded by the tools of his deadly trade. The Unabomber, the phantom that has haunted America for nearly 2 decades, is finally caught. The cabin is a treasure trove of evidence. Journals filled with rambling diatribes against technology and modern society. Diagrams of bombs. The original handwritten manuscript of the Unabomber's Manifesto. The case is closed. The nation breathes a collective sigh of relief. The nightmare is over. But the questions linger. Who is Ted Kaczynski? What drove him to commit such horrific acts? And what does his story say about the dark side of brilliance, the dangers of isolation, and the fragility of the human psyche? Section 9. Echoes of Madness Inside the Mind of a Killer. As Kaczynski awaits trial, the world grapples with the enormity of his crimes. Psychiatrists and psychologists delve into his past, searching for clues to his descent into madness. Was he a victim of circumstance, a product of a dysfunctional upbringing, or was he born evil, a monster lurking beneath the surface of a brilliant mind? Some experts point to his troubled childhood, his social awkwardness, his inability to form meaningful connections. Others focus on his intelligence, his sense of superiority, his belief that he was smarter than everyone else. Still others see his anti-technology ideology as the root of his madness, a dangerous delusion that justified his actions. The truth, like Kaczynski himself, remains elusive. A complex tapestry of nature and nurture, genius and madness, woven together to create a monster. His story serves as a chilling reminder that even the most brilliant minds can be consumed by darkness. Section 10. The Trial and the Sentence Justice. But at what cost? The trial of Ted Kaczynski is a media circus. Cameras from around the world converge on the courthouse, eager to capture every detail of the case that has captivated the nation for over 2 decades. Kaczynski, now a household name, becomes a symbol of terror, a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked intelligence and isolation. He pleads guilty to all charges, sparing himself the death penalty but ensuring a life behind bars. In court, he shows no remorse, his cold, calculating demeanor sending chills through the courtroom. His victims, some of whom are present, finally have their day in court, but the scars of his crimes run deep. Justice, it seems, has been served. But at what cost? The families of his victims are left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. The nation is left to grapple with the legacy of a man who terrorized a generation. Section 11. Lingering Shadows, The Unanswered Questions. Ted Kaczynski will spend the rest of his days in a supermax prison, his freedom forever revoked. The world outside moves on, the memory of his crimes fading with time. But the questions linger. What truly motivated him? Was he a madman, a terrorist, or a misguided visionary? His story continues to fascinate and horrify, a chilling reminder of the dark potential that lurks within the human heart. The Unabomber case remains a subject of debate and speculation, a puzzle with pieces that never quite seem to fit. And in the shadows, the question remains, could it happen again?